Hi, my name's Jonny, and today, we are taking a look at the Steambass flexible compressor from Thorn Soundlabs. Now, in the past, I used to find compression first intimidating and then a bit boring. But I've come around to absolutely love it and see it as an essential tool for bass players of multiple genres. If you think of your sound wave like this, essentially what it does is bring any peaking volume dynamics down and any quiet notes up in volume to make a more consistent sound. As a bass player who plays hard with a pick, I think that this is an absolutely essential effect. Now, like I said, I used to find compressors kind of a bit boring, but I'm actually really excited to talk about this one right here because it's got a couple of really cool features that I'm not sure if I've seen on compressors before. So at the top, we have a threshold control. This essentially determines the level of signal that we need to be at before the compressor is engaged. So if you've got it all the way down, this means the compressor's always going to be on because any volume you feed it, the compressor's going to engage. Now, if you want a compressor to mainly bring down some of the kind of high peaks if you're playing hard, then this kind of control is really, really handy. You can turn it up and it means that it's only going to be in play when the volume is reaching a high level. This pairs really nicely with the amount control. And this is essentially the amount of compression that is being applied. I think these two knob controls are really, really nice together and are a fundamental part of how this pedal kind of works. And it's a shame your mum's not here really, because she is also the master of knob control. Now, when you've got the threshold all the way down, it starts to get really squashy really quick. The compressor starts to take away some of the sound and tone that you're giving it, and it makes it sound really unnatural and cheap and honestly fake. So what I recommend doing is turning this knob up, and as you're playing, kind of start turning it down until you start hearing that squashiness, and then kind of move a little bit above it. I play quite hard, so I like to have this knob quite high up. Like I said before in the video, I used to find compressors a little bit confusing, and I still get a little bit confused to this day with attack and release. These are the two most common controls that you see on a compressor pedal, and the direction of the knobs always used to really confuse me. Essentially, think of the knobs as speed, alright? So when it's down, it's slow, and when it's all the way up, it's really fast. So attack is essentially how quickly the compressor is grabbing the note or signal that you're giving it, and the release is the opposite of how long it's holding on to that note before it lets go. Because I like to have that consistent sound when I'm playing with a pick, normally I like this to be a kind of fairly fast-ish attack because I'm playing quite hard, so I don't want it to go and then like kind of jump back down and control it. But then I want the release to be quite slow as it kind of holds on to that note as I'm playing. When you dial back the attack and make it too slow, you can definitely hear it kind of reacting slowly, and it starts to grab the note like really obviously, like it's kind of trying to catch up with what you're feeding it. On our second row of controls here, we come across a really interesting control. That is the detail knob. And essentially, this is putting some treble back into your sound. Upon their literature, they transcribed that the detail control is used to recover treble content that may have gotten attenuated in the compression. Essentially, the more you compress, the more of the signal you start to kind of lose, and it's that glassy top end that I actually really like. And so being able to dial that physically back in on this pedal is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a compressor that has something like this on it. You get like high pass and low pass filters on some things, but this is really plainly put, and I really, really like the simplicity of how this works. It goes to show that as well as being a tool, it can actually be used as a tonal shaper as well. It's not just there to control dynamics. You can actually have it affect the sound and almost use it as a sonic maximizer to make your sound become more lively and, you know, jump out at people. I want a compressor that when I turn it off, I get disappointed, you know, and it just sounds better on all the time. And that is essentially what I get with this pedal, especially with the inclusion of that detail control. On the right hand side, we have the overall volume via the output. And then in the middle, we have a switch for manual and auto. Essentially what this does when in manual setting is just as you would expect it, but in auto, and I don't think I've seen this on a compressor before, this disengages the ability to control the attack and release, and the pedal just starts acting on what you feed it and kind of adapts to what you're giving it. Now, I did find that if you switch from manual to auto, often the auto is a bit too aggressive, so then you have to kind of dial it back a little bit. However, when I was giving it a Hofner with drive on it, it just was beautiful. It really grabbed the note and kind of dialed it back while still allowing that drive to kind of twinkle on top, and it just made for this really fat sound that is just so musical. When you turned it on, the character just illuminated out of the bass. I couldn't stop playing, and I wouldn't have really had that sound or discovered it without the help of this pedal. This pedal is priced at around £200, and I think that is a really, really good deal for what you're getting here. It's a great functional compressor that's got some tricks up its sleeve as well. The metal casing means it's really, really well made as well, so I don't really have any complaints about that at all. Now, I do think that when I was listening through headphones, I could hear a little bit of low end loss when I was A-Bing it between being on and off. It would have been nice to see like a low end detail control as well to dial back in some of that bass, or equally perhaps a mix or blend control to dial in some clean signal, A, to retain some low end, and B, to kind of further enhance what kind of mix of signal you're having. But there we go. Let me know in a comment down below what you think about this compressor. Overall, I think that this is a well-priced and really well-made pedal with both utilitarian and really musical sounds in it. Overall, a fantastic compressor, despite it perhaps missing a few features that I would like to see in maybe version 2 of it. Let me know what you think in a comment down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.